strange days in LA, as it were. You know, the weird scenes under the gold mine. Okay. But anyhow, this is called The Big Heist, LA, 1980. We smoked the resins off the screens of our pipes and walked to the Church Bazaar a block from Hollywood Boulevard and Grauman's Chinese. Doug, Howard, Susie, and I played the ring toss and penny pitch, watched the rickety rented Ferris wheel, waiting for a child to fall. Four fresh-faced kids from someplace else enjoying a night of innocent fun in LA. On the way back, we bought a cheap bottle of tequila and played guitars at Howard's place, a house owned by Jane Mansfield's ex-boxer husband, singing, "No more juice in the morning, no more breakfast in bed, do your own laundry because your mother's dead." We often wondered why we weren't stars yet. Words cannot describe the foul stench of this place, which we had all grown totally accustomed to. The sandbox in the kitchen was filled past overflowing with cat shit from Florentine and Oedipus, the mutant six-toed kittens Howard had gotten in February to provide an air of normalcy and responsibility to his life. The box had not been cleaned in months, and cats being cats, Flo and Eddie made the entire house into a huge cat box. There wasn't a square inch of the carpet that hadn't been soaked in cat urine, repeatedly. Doing a shot of tequila, Howard pointed at the ceiling where a petrified lump of cat shit hung like a stalactite. "I found that there one night when I came home," Howard explained. "Etienne said he had nothing to do with it, but I saw the guilt in his eyes." Etienne was a 19-year-old French-Canadian kid who worked with Howard at Lady Snow's Smoke Menagerie, where freebase pipes were sold under the legal guise of being called chemical extraction kits. Etienne had moved out of the house a couple weeks back, for reasons none of us could fathom, leaving Howard stuck with the full rent. Silently drinking, we inwardly cursed that cat-hating bastard Etienne, envisioning the squalid picture of the Canuck son of a bitch, flinging blameless kittens in the air as they projectile defecated in mewling feline terror. "He must be punished," Howard suddenly screamed. "My baby shall have vengeance." Unfortunately, the SPCA office was closed, it being past midnight and all, so there was nothing for it but for Howard and I to drain the tequila, leap into my girlfriend's car, and drive to Etienne's room in a seedy one-story building off Sunset in Vermont with the purpose of robbing him blind. The fact that Etienne was dealing dope and we were all out had nothing to do with the high moral tone of our quest, which in our minds reached the heights of a biblical tale of justice as we cruised down Sunset Boulevard, singing the theme from Mission Impossible at the top of our lungs. As we parked around the back of Etienne's place, the Chevette engine sounding like a DC-10, nerves suddenly set in. We counted windows till we came to the apartment we hoped was his. "I think he's at work until 1, said Howard. "Geez, maybe this is kind of stupid." That was Howard all over, working others up into a vitriolic frenzy and then getting all ambiguous on you at the moment of execution. Luckily, I was made of sterner stuff, and wrapping a hammer in a towel, smashed the flimsy window, reached through the broken panes to unlock it, and hoisted myself into the building before my brain could register how goddamn fucking noisy the whole procedure was. Flipping on the lights, I saw I was bleeding from a cut I must have gotten reaching over the glass. I hadn't felt a thing. As Howard gathered bags of marijuana and Etienne's expensive new scale that he had stolen from Lady Snow's, I smeared my blood on the walls in a detached, tongue-in-cheek gesture, thinking, "Man, this is so cool. My life has suddenly become a Doors song." We walked out into the hallway, thanking Christ there was no one there, left by the back door, and drove west on Sunset, doing the Mission Impossible reprise and laughing hysterically as we gave ourselves criminal nicknames. Howard was Brains, I was Fingers. Doug and Susie were properly amazed by our return, having cheerfully expected us to be dead or arrested by now. So we all got high and fell asleep like happy puppies, the pungent odor of ammonia wafting through our nostrils with the familiarity of an old friend. A couple days later, I sold the scale to an old workmate of mine at Hughes Helicopters, an admin assistant who quit to become a prostitute, because, quite frankly, it was a step up for her career-wise. She gave me 50 Quaaludes for the thing. I split our take with Howard. "I saw Etienne at work today," he said, and related the conversation. "Etienne, someone broke into my apartment, a deranged lunatic who stole all my dope and smeared blood on the walls." Howard, "Geez, that's awful. What a sordid, sick town this is. You're lucky you weren't home when those fucking maniacs were there. Etienne, how do you know there were more than one? Howard, I don't know. I think I read someplace they always work in groups. Anyhow, Etienne ended up going back to Toronto. Howard sold the lewds for rent money, still ended up short, and after camping around town for a few weeks with chance acquaintances he picked up in bars, had to fly back to his parents' home in Boston, where he was stuck until the following year. I had always felt that dealing drugs was a path that would only lead me to ill fortune and perdition. Plus, who knows, some bastard might rob me. So I was impelled by my personal convictions to take all the drugs myself. I spent a month in the bathtub reading Sanctuary and Black Spring. It took me an inordinately long time to finish a page for some inexplicable reason. Anyhow, one night, as I was reaching the end of the stash, my girlfriend came into the bathroom. "John Lennon's been shot," she said. "Wow," I replied. "Did Yoko do it?" But she had not. And reviewing my life, I saw that I had committed a petty, senseless, mean-spirited crime, spent a month in the bathtub stoned, my skin wrinkling like a bad suit, as I read books I couldn't have understood sober. John Lennon died, and to top it off, Yoko Ono wasn't even going to the gas chamber. And in this moment, the LA experience began to go sour on me.
Of poetry with vaudeville and that whole ethos. That's wonderful. Mr. Fuster, thank you. That was a lark. The question. Okay.